He's a bad beast on that barbecue, on the grill or the smoker. He knows just what to do. He's a bad beast on that barbecue.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode of Bad Beast Barbecue. Hey, it's Saturday morning, about 10 o'clock or so, man, and it is 28 degrees out here. But hey, as you know, rain, sleet, rain or snow, nothing ever stops our low and slow. So hey, today we're going to be out here and we're going to be firing up the RecTec Mini today. I know RecTec doesn't sell this anymore. They got some other grills that you guys can check out, but the RecTec Mini is still a great little smoker for small cooks. Okay, now if you guys saw my last video, I did kind of a catering thing for some friends where we did a ton of ribs and chicken, and we did pork butts, and we did a brisket flat. And when I trimmed those ribs, I trimmed them St. Louis style. And normally, you know, most people discard that top piece, but I keep that top piece to make riblets and use the meat and things for other cooks or stews and stuff like that. So we had 8 slabs of ribs, and this is the amount of meat that we had left over from trimming these bad boys St. Louis style. So we are going to season these bad boys up. We're going to put them on the RecTec Mini to smoke, and we're going to use a couple different rubs just to try them out so we can give you a review on some of the stuff that we have lurking around in the cabinet. So hey, don't go nowhere, hang around, watch us do this quick prep work, this cook here, and we'll see how it all comes out. So hey, hang around. So out of all the seasonings we had in the cabinet, we decided to use the seasonings from the Spice House out of Chicago. They sent us several spices a few months ago, and we're going to be using the West Indies barbecue seasoning, the Quebec beef spice, the Trinidad lemon garlic seasoning, and back of the yards. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to divide our meat into 4 separate batches. Next, we're going to put each batch in its own bowl. We're going to be using plain yellow mustard as a binder. And then we're going to season each one of these batches of meat with its own seasoning from the Spice House. Next, we took a rack and put each batch in its own section, labeling each one of the batches of meat on the rack with the name of the spice that was used. We placed 3 of the batches of meat in the RecTec Mini at 225 degrees. We'll cook the 4th batch after these 3 have completed, since there's not enough room on the Mini for all 4 batches. After smoking for 3 hours on the RecTec Mini, we pull each batch off and wrap it individually in brown butcher paper. The batches will cook for an additional hour wrapped in butcher paper until they're ready to taste test. Alright guys, so we are done with our cook. Give me a little drink here. And let me give you a close-up look at these bad boys. Alright, so as you can see, we got the 4 different flavors laid out here. We got the Quebec that's got the nice bits and pieces on it, and the back of the yard seasoning has some nice bits on it also. The Trinidad and the West Indies are sort of a plain looking seasoning, but hopefully the flavor will be worthwhile. So let's go ahead and taste them and see how they came out. Okay guys, so the first one we're going to try is going to be the back of the yard. Go ahead and get me a piece of this. Now this got a great smell to it. I can smell the pepper and the seasonings. Let's see how it tastes. I like that one a lot. That one has some nice pepper, the large seasoning on the ribs from the back of the yard seasoning. I think that's this one right here, back of the yard seasoning. Tastes real good, man. It's got a nice peppery flavor to it, and it says the ingredients is pepper and garlic with a little sugar and some bell pepper and parsley. It's got a nice herbal type flavor to it, but the pepper is definitely pronounced, so I definitely like that back of the yards. Okay, so let's try the Trinidad. Okay, the Trinidad one, it's a lemon garlic seasoning, has salt, lemon peel, garlic, cloves, and powdered ginger in it. So let's check that one out. Get me a small piece of that one. Now that one has some nice flavor also. I can taste the lemon and the garlic in the seasoning. It's not as strong or pronounced as the back of the yard seasoning. It's kind of a background seasoning. I think this one would be good to use in conjunction with something else, like if you were to put some pepper on here. It definitely has enough saltiness to it. So, but I can taste the lemon and garlic, but it needs like something like a little pepper to kind of even it off. And maybe something to enhance the lemon flavor, but I like that one too. Visually it's kind of plain. There's no big pieces of seasoning on the rib, but flavor wise it tastes pretty good. Okay, all right, let's check out the West Indies barbecue seasoning. Okay, so this one here has paprika, salt, sugar, cayenne pepper, garlic, cinnamon, and some other spices. So let's get a piece of that one and see how that one tastes. It's okay, considering the amount of seasoning we put on this. It's not very like punch you in the mouth type. It doesn't come through. Very, very subtle. I actually, be honest with you, I taste more of the smoke on the rib, which is good, than I do of the West Indies barbecue seasoning. So this is probably something also that needs to be combined with some kosher salt and some pepper and things. So maybe as a secondary layer on some ribs or steak or something, but I think as a secondary season, I think it'd be better than a primary seasoning. So I would think you would want to put some salt and pepper on your meat first, and then come back over with a little of this West Indies barbecue seasoning, and it should balance out pretty well. Okay, and last but not least, let's go ahead and try this Quebec. I love the way this Quebec. Now this is a beef spice seasoning, but we're using it on pork right now. And it has salt, cracked black pepper, minced garlic, and cracked cardamom and stuff. So love the size of the seasonings in this jar. Let's go ahead and get a piece and see how this bad boy tastes. It smells fantastic. Okay, Quebec, I see what you're working with here. Out of the four here, this Quebec is the strongest, and the peppery flavor kicks you right in the back of the throat. Man, talk about good. The saltiness is perfect. It goes good with this smokiness of the ribs. Wow, this is very, very good, man. You can taste the cardamom. You definitely can taste the garlic. So I'm loving this Quebec seasoning. So even though it says beef spice, and this will probably go good on some beef ribs, because you know when you do beef ribs, you want some pronounced pieces of spice on there, pepper and garlic and and kosher salt and those type of things. So this Quebec seasoning will probably taste great on some beef. It tastes fantastic on these pork ribs. I think I'm gonna try this on some steak next time, and we're gonna see how that comes out. So, well, that's all we have time for tonight. Like I said, we did a quick cook on the Tec Mini. Like I said, the Tec has some great smokers out there, so check out the guys at tecgrills.com if you're interested in getting one of the new smokers they have out there. But we have the Mini. We're going to keep her rolling smoke until she can't roll smoke no more. So also I want to thank the folks out at the Spice House in Chicago. This is more of the spices that they had sent us several months ago, and we're just continuing to use these as we go along in our videos. So thanks again, guys. We really appreciate the spices, and we'll continue to drop you a nod every time we use them in a video. Okay. Well, that's all we have time for tonight. Like we always say, where there's smoke, there's fire. If it's fire, then damn it, there just might be a barbecue there, or just a little bit of Crown Royal. Hey, as always, hey, we'll see you guys around the smoker. Hey, and have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.